Ready with that.
Awesome. What's up, everybody? It's Dylan with Dyslexia, and I have another pleasure of sitting down with another amazing leader and athlete and businessman,
Former athlete.
Dalton Crossen.
Yeah, you got it.
How are you?
Great, man.
Thank you for sitting down.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity.
Of course, thank you for welcoming me into your home.
Of course. That's that backdrop, huh?
No, not a bad backdrop. Can you give the audience a little background on who you are, what you do, what you have done?
Yeah, so I'll give kind of the high level just from, growing up, Long Island, New York, athlete my whole life, really played everything, focused on football, lacrosse, kind of as I got into high school. Went and played at the University of New Hampshire, played football, and then was fortunate enough to play about 2.5, 3 years in the NFL, 2017, 18, 19, with the Indianapolis Colts first and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers afterwards, which was awesome. Obviously that was my lifelong dream as a kid, starting playing football like 5, 6 years old. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, in hindsight, it's fortunate. At the time, it was unfortunate. I wasn't able to stay healthy throughout those 3 years. Few injuries led to my early retirement from football in 2019, 2020. And then in my mind, I was always very obsessed with entrepreneurship and business at the same time, coming up through really my whole life and my playing career, to the point where I was disappointed that my football career was ending, but I was also very excited to start the next chapter, which was entrepreneurship, business, and wound up just networking my butt off, and connected with a guy by the name of Bobby Hotaling, who is the founder, CEO of the company that I'm now a partner and managing director at here in the city, called Hotaling Insurance Services. We are a risk management family office at Hotaling, so we really handle anything you can imagine when it comes to insurance and risk management portfolios for high net worth, ultra high net worth individuals and families. And then outside of that, I do a lot as well, both in the venture capital world, tech, investing, advising, for a lot of early stage tech companies. And then also am a general partner in a commercial real estate operation, which I started out as an investor and understanding that asset class and how valuable it was to own equity in real estate. And that's kind of evolved through relationship building and adding value, for the operator on that end of things as well. So, really do a lot of different things, but it might sound like a lot, and it might sound like a little scattered, but it's definitely not, and it's very very methodical and very thoughtful in the way that I've kind of structured it over the past 2-3 years. And it wasn't the fact that I structured it that way 2 years ago and I was like, this is exactly how it's going to look, because I don't think life or business works that way, right? It's you just continue to take the steps, and then through the amount of time, it slowly starts to come together, and you slowly start to figure out exactly how you want to go about everything and how you want to structure everything. And really, at the end of the day, is where am I spending my time, and am I using my time efficiently, and am I getting the highest possible rate of return on the time that I'm spending?
Yeah.
Whether it's here, or here, or here, right? So that's kind of how I think about that.
I love how you highlighted networking, because things like this, like being friends with you, we connected at the UN building with Craig Siegel, and we got to go to a cool dinner, and then we were hanging with David Meltzer a couple of nights ago. To me, the biggest thing that's helped me with networking is being around people who inspire me, and then connecting with people like yourself who inspire me. And just when you surround yourself with people at a certain level, it's either step up to the plate and play at that level, or don't show up.
That's 100% accurate, right? So my thing is, I never, ever, my goal is to never be the smartest person in the room, any room that I'm in, never be the wealthiest person in any room that I'm in, right? And that just is a different way of saying what you just said. You want to align yourself with people that have been where you want to get to, right? And that are currently doing the things that you aspire to do. And life is nothing but you never want to stop getting better, right? You never reach a peak, right? There's always somebody that's above you, no matter who you are. There's always somebody that has more, or that's doing better, or that you want something in this aspect of your life. There's somebody that has it, or that's already gotten there. So in terms of like just always aspiring to be more, and the easiest way to do that is to surround yourself with like-minded people that are going to lift you up and not pull you down,
Yeah.
negatively affect your mindset. Negative people, right? You want to be around positivity, people that are uplifting and that are helpful and that are wanting to see you succeed. And again, whether that's like a direct mentorship, like coach student type relationship, teacher student type relationship, or just being in the same rooms and just soaking up knowledge and soaking up energy, right? And
Yeah.
I think it works, both of those ways.
It's funny you said energy, because I think energy is the kind of thing. We had this great conversation at dinner a couple of nights ago. Is I was exhausted when I came from work to dinner.
Right.
And the minute I stepped into the room, I wasn't exhausted anymore. I was like around people who charge you. And it's actually like, to those who don't understand, I sound like I'm crazy. But that room actually charges you when you're around those environments.
Mm-hmm.
And being around people like you and giving me the opportunity to interview you, we get to work out today. And
good luck.
I'm here. I accepted the challenge. Shut up, Craig. Being around people who push you and push you to be better in every way that you can be is a power in itself. And you highlighted never wanted to be the smartest one in the room. I'm the same way. I'm always like, well, I need to be in a room where everybody's above me. I can do nothing but learn.
Mm-hmm.
But I found power in walking in every room and letting everybody know I know nothing, even though I may.
Right.
Because I've got no other option than to just learn.
Of course, yeah. You always want to, like you just said, be in those rooms, surround yourself with those people. And there's definitely a balance, in my opinion, to like knowing that like you have so much to learn and then you can soak up so much, but also understanding that you belong, right? And that you are the same, in terms of mindset. You just might not have had enough time to get to the point where someone who might be, 20 years older than you has gotten to. But you're going to get there faster because you're surrounding yourself with, the people that have done it and that are continuing to do it. But to your point, energy is everything, right? Energy is currency, and you can just feel it. It's not even something that always can be explained. But if you're in those rooms and you come from work where a lot of the people are probably employee minded, probably negative, having a lot of negative thoughts, and because of all of that are emitting energy that's negative, right? And again, it's not words that they're saying necessarily.
You can feel it.
It could be, yeah, but it's just energy, and you can feel energy, right? Energy is in our thoughts. Thought is literally energy.
Yeah.
Right. So being able to feel that, and it just you walk in and your battery's drained, but then you can walk into a room of like-minded people, like the one we did the other night with at David Meltzer's event. And they're all people that are striving to be better every single day. People that are, a very strong belief. People that are succeeding at high levels across a bunch of different areas. And obviously their energy is the opposite, right? And their thoughts are the opposite, and the way that they go about themselves, they carry themselves, the conversations they have, the words they use, everything emits positive energy. And again, to your point, you just feel it, and you feel like your battery's charging. Well, training from work, then you get into that room, and your battery is being charged because of the energy is positive.
Yeah. Would you say playing the NFL was a dream of yours?
Oh, for sure. That was the only dream for majority of my life, right? From probably 4 years old. I started playing tackle football at 4 years old. So from 4 years old all the way up until it happened, which was, 21, 22? Yeah, that was the only dream.
What would you say? Because I've learned to fall in love with the journey. Mm-hmm. What was the journey to the NFL like, if you could reflect? What would you say the biggest life lessons were you learned on that journey?
I mean, so many, right? And because the journey, I guess, what I just said, started from 4 to 20, 21, right. 22. So that's literally growing up, right? So you learn a million lessons, right. Not just necessarily football related. But football, I'd say, was a huge part in growing up and in, numerous life lessons that I've learned. Dealing with adversity is probably the biggest one, right? I mean, and when you say, what was the journey like? The journey was like this, right? Like a stock. Yep. Like always going up long term if you zoom out, but there's a lot of trials and tribulations and, ups and downs throughout, whether it's not getting the starting role, at a certain point in your career, or dealing with injuries, right, which I dealt with a ton of during my college career, which was probably the biggest, the most trials and tribulations that I had throughout my football career. So I'd say dealing with adversity and continuing to push through and have faith and keep the vision in the NFL, right? Just playing in the NFL. And then I didn't only want to play in the NFL. I wanted to become a starter in the NFL, and then I wanted to become an All-Pro, and then I wanted to, literally I wanted to be the best player that's ever played. Like that, those thoughts that ran through my mind. Now, did I get there? Obviously not. But if you shoot for a goal, and that's the goal, right? So if I just wanted to become a starting high school running back, and that was my goal from 4 years old, that's all I wanted to do. I never thought beyond that. That's all I would have gotten to. Right? So what I think my wife said it the other day, actually, which is why it stuck in my head, but shoot for the, and this is a very common phrase, but whatever, shoot for the stars, land on the moon.
Yes.
Like, that's true. It's like you want to always envision yourself as being the best at whatever you're doing, in my opinion. Because I think that if you're not aiming to be the best, it's impossible. Right? It's literally not possible if you don't have the thought first. So, trials, tribulations, adversity, dealing with that, believing in yourself. I think that's where I learned to believe in myself was football.
Yeah.
Starting on the playground in 5th grade, playing tackle football, 2-hand touch, whatever with my friends, believing that I was the best one there, and then I playing pee-wee football and thinking about literally taking my stats down and be like, there's no way for me to actually know this, but wondering and thinking to myself, I bet nobody else in the country that's 8 years old, that's a running back, is doing what I'm doing. Again, just belief, just self-belief to me is really the biggest thing there. And then everything from discipline, working out, right? And I'm not going to be the best in football if I'm not in the gym every day and doing my speed training every day and stretching every day and remaining disciplined with that literally for decades, right? From 4 to now, 5 or 6. It was instilled in me because of football, the discipline, the work ethic, just repetition over and over and over again. That was all instilled in me at a young age because of football. I'm not sure. I may or may have had something else that would have helped instill that in me if I didn't have football. Obviously I don't know because I did have football. But now I carry over those same exact, and I still practice and preach and implement all of those same things, just in a different way in business now.
Yeah.
Right? But it's all the same. It's everything that made me really good at football. Discipline, work ethic, teamwork, right? Learning how to be a part of a team, coachable, being coachable, coachability, and taking advice and taking mentorship, and guys that know more than I do, and then applying that and taking constructive criticism. I apply all the same things now, just on a different field, right, in a different game, and that's business. But it's all the same thing.
So you play the 1% better every day.
Yeah. As many percents as you can. I wouldn't even put a ceiling on it and say 1. Why do I only have to get 1% better every day, right? Get some days it might be 1, some days it might be 10. But getting better every day that's to me is how I think about it. Yeah.
I take pride in the challenges, like you saying let's work out, and Greg being like, well, I used to play in the NFL. I was like, yeah, that don't intimidate me, let's do it.
Yeah.
I love that because I walked into your building this morning and I was inspired like that. And I was like, wow, it's important to be around people that inspire you and uplift you.
Yeah.
But I was like, I can also learn and I'll be pushed, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've learned the most being around people who think bigger than I do.
Yeah, because it helps you think bigger, right? And there's people that think bigger than me, and I like to surround myself with them, And I always continue to push myself and do things that are hard. I think doing things that are hard and getting out of your comfort zone is really, there's a couple of them, but one of the main keys to life and to success.
I was told
just do hard stuff. Just do it. Just like stuff that you're like, fuck, this is gonna be hard. This might be really hard, or I don't know the unknown of how hard am I gonna throw up when I work out today? I might but who cares? It's not. Most people would be like, I don't. Sunday, I don't. I have no idea how hard this is gonna be, and they just wouldn't do it. They make up an excuse. That's 95% of people, right? But just doing hard shit is, I think, 95% of the battle.
100%.
But doing it consistently, over and over and over and over again, not just one day, right? Like, that's easy to do hard shit for one day or even a week or a month or even a year. It's pretty easy to do. In the grand scheme of life, it's easy to do hard shit for a year. But can you do it year in and year out, decade in and decade out? Right? And those are the people that win long term.
For sure. And I love your stock analogy. I've used the exact same stock analogy before, where you zoom out and it's up.
Yep.
But in and you're like this.
It's always going to be tricky.
Yeah, really hold on to that roller coaster.
Yeah.
I wanted to say congratulations on your marriage and a baby coming soon.
Thank you. December.
Yes. Are you excited?
Never been more excited.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you guys. I have one last thing. My slogan is defying odds. You're familiar with my story about how I was adopted twice and stuff.
Yeah.
What does the final odds mean to you?
Defying all odds, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with it, but I like to keep things simple. Defying all odds is essentially doing things that people don't think you can do, right? And there's always going to be the outside world, always, right? And there's always going to be doubters and haters, and no matter what you're doing, who you are, if you're having even a little bit of success, you're going to have haters. And then the more success that you continue to have, and the more eyeballs that you have on you, the more haters that are going to come with that, and the more people that are going to continue to doubt you and tell you, that you can't do things, right? And although I might not have had the same story as you did, right, and I might not have been dyslexic, and I might not have been adopted twice, which is, unbelievable to continue to overcome those things.
Thank you.
Everybody has their own struggles, right? Everyone has their own challenges. Some just look different than others. Mine was always that, I had endless haters and doubters that, you'll never play Division I college football, right? You might be good in Pee-wees, but you'll never get to that level. Okay, sounds good. Well, actually, even before that, it was high school, and we played in Division IV, and then I transferred schools to a Division I school, which was a bigger, higher level of football, and at the high school level on Long Island, where I grew up. And we made the move. My brother and I transferred to a bigger school after my sophomore year. And then it was everywhere on Long Island. There was hype around that move because we were good players. But it was like, they were able to do really well in Division IV.
Will it be good here?
Yeah, they'll never be good in Division. No way. You know what I mean? It's much bigger kids, faster, stronger. And then you prove them wrong there. And then it's Division I college football. You'll never be able to do that. And, okay, you got a scholarship there, but you never really play. There's no way you'll ever get to the NFL, right? So, it's every level you get to. And mine was football, right? Yours could have been X, somebody else's is Y.
Mine was surviving school.
Right, surviving school, yeah, right, exactly. But same idea, just different motive, different, people are saying different things. I personally, actually, I got this from Michael Jordan. So I love to study the greats in, sport and entrepreneurship, because I believe, like, the mindset, it's all very similar, right? You look at like a Steve Jobs and a Michael Jordan, like two mindsets that are almost identical in a lot of ways, but they just obviously applied it in different ways. So a Michael Jordan thing that I actually love and I implemented myself is every time, like, I get a feeling from somebody of like, they don't take me for real, and it happens even to this day. A lot of the times it might even be made up. There was a great story about Michael Jordan. That when he was playing a game, and whatever it was, let's say it was the Portland Trailblazers versus Chicago Bulls, and the Trailblazers beat the Bulls. And Michael didn't have a great game, and he had said something to the media around the fact that, like, one of the guys that was guarding him, I forgot who the guy's name even was, walked up to him at the end of the game and said something like, "Nice game, Mike." Like, just like wink, wink, like, we got the better of you.
Right.
The next night, they played him again. They played the same team again. They had a back-to-back. And Michael used that as fuel because he was like, oh, this guy outscored me, and he played decent defense on me considering, what I normally do. And Michael Jordan went off like 60 points. That next game, about 10, 15, 20 years later, but like way into the future, it came out that Michael said that wasn't even real. That never happened. That guy never said anything to him after the game. He imagined it in his mind.
And put fuel in it.
And like, he would do that often. He would play mind games with himself often. And you have to do that once you get to a certain level, right? Once you become Michael Jordan, it's like no one's doubting you anymore. So you kind of have to start to, especially if you use that as fuel. And I love to use that as fuel. Doubters, haters. So, and I'm still at the level where, trust me, I still have plenty of doubters and haters. Yeah. If I want to go be a billionaire, right, or whatever my ultimate goal is, like, there's always going to be people that, until you get to that point, there's always going to be people that are going to be like, yeah, no way, there's no shot, they'll never run this company, or I'll never make this much money, or I'll never have this much success. So I use that, and I have a list in my phone. Some of them real, some of them more exaggerated than others. Right? But just to drive me, I have a list and I write down the names. It's not like I hate those people, but I just, if they've ever given me a feeling of slight, of like, just even it's some of them more so than others, right? And again, some of them probably more made up than real. But I trick myself in my own mind to believe, and I feel that feeling of like, all right, I'll show you. You don't think I can do it? All right, sounds good. Like, let's see.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, I guarantee you that you'll respect me, or you'll think I'm a real business person, or you'll think, that I'm at this level, right? I'm at your level or above it, right? Because right now, I feel like if I write their name down, I feel like they think that I'm below them. And again, they might actually think that, or they might not. But again, I play mind games with myself to just really circling all back to the point, long-winded answer of doubt and proving people wrong, right? And that's, to me, what fuels me the most. And you got to find ways to use that, right? You got to find ways to use that positively. But yeah, hope that answered the question.
That was a great answer. Could you give our audience, from people from my age, or if it's easier for you, because we have a relationship, give me, for my 23 years old, in my position, what would your advice to me be?
For what? What do you mean? Advice to
life,
you?
Business, to keep on this road, to keep striving to be better.
Man, I would say keep doing what you're doing. I haven't known you for that long, but through the conversations we have had, I can tell that you're definitely on the right track. You're here, right? You asked me if I wanted to work out. Of course, I'm going to say yes. I always, love to work out, love to help, love to, mentor, advise, right? Because I have a million mentors myself. So anything that I could do to help and answer questions, obviously I'm always here. But with that, you have the right mindset. You're working the way that you need to be working. You're making sacrifices, right? And you're sacrificing time with friends and drinking. And right, most 23-year-olds are probably doing well. They're probably out there, Saturday, Sunday, day drinking, having fun, partying, right? Like, and not really elevating themselves, their careers, what they're looking to accomplish. So it's really it's pretty simple, man. Again, I'm a keep it simple kind of guy. You don't have to overcomplicate it. It's not rocket science. You got to believe in yourself, but like viciously believe in yourself and your abilities and the fact that you already are where you want to be. Just time needs to catch up.
Yeah.
Right. That's number one. So the belief starts everything. The belief is the outrageous self-belief is the most important, and then the work. Nothing is gonna, you can't just think it, right? Thinking is where it starts. Believing it is where it starts. But a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that thinking is really all they need to do.
No.
Right? And believing is all they need to do.
Overthinking does make things worse.
It does.
And it prevents people from doing what they want to do.
Yeah, most people don't even think, though. Most people think that they think, but they go through life not really thinking and using their mind the way that is most powerful.
More on autopilot.
Right, more on autopilot. And they have thoughts, but they're not really thinking, right? And so belief, and vicious, outrageous belief in yourself that you can do and accomplish anything. And then the work. That's it. The work. You just put in the work relentlessly, continuously, over and over and over again, right? Repetitive. It's not something that could just be a week thing or a month thing or a year or even a 5-year thing. It's something that's a lifestyle. That's just, and you build those habits, and those habits, never go away, right? And I've been building them since I was 4, 5, 6 years old. My dad put us in speed training, right, at like 6, 7 years old, whatever it was. And that's just carried over, so it's just continue to put in the work, continue to surround yourself with, the people that are, at where you're trying to get to or on the same path, at least like-minded, guys that are gonna pour into you instead of drain your battery, like we talked about. Trying to think of other things, but those are the main things. Obviously, there's a million different little things that make all of those up. But yeah, at the highest level, just continue to believe, continue to push forward, continue to work harder than everybody else, because that's what you do control, right? Don't worry about what you can't control. Worry about what you can, and that's the work. That's the rooms that you're in, right? It's the relentless pursuit of your potential, right? Shout out David Meltzer. That's one of his great lines. But just continue to push forward, continue to strive to be great, and enjoy that it's a journey, and in that journey there are ups and downs. But when the downs come, that's when
you're tested.
That's when you're tested, and that's when you really prove your worth and who you are, right? Like, it's easy to be positive and happy and when things are going well, but for everybody, things hit the shit, at some point, and way more times than one, over and over and over again throughout the course of somebody's life.
Yeah.
How do you respond, right? When the shit hits the fan, how do you respond when things aren't going well? Do you keep the same positive mindset and the same ridiculous belief in yourself that no matter, even if I'm in shit right now, I still know who I am and where I'm going. And if you continue to hold that image in your head and continue to put forth the work and continue to surround yourself with the right people, it's only a matter of time before you get out of the shit and get back, going.
Yeah.
And then again, zoom out. And how many times are you in the shit versus up, in the shit versus up, in the shit versus up? But slowly, the path is like this, right?
Because those challenges are actually testing you and building you.
Correct. It's making you stronger. Yeah. Doesn't kill you, makes you stronger, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. Might be cliche, but it's definitely true.
That's awesome. Dalton, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate you sitting down. I'm excited for the workout. I'm going to tell you guys something that I learned this year, and I'm closing all my podcasts with it. You are enough. You are capable. You got this, and there's nothing different from me to you. I tied my shoes this morning like you did. Have a good one. Dylan Smith, the DS for Sex and Dalton.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.